Can you hear me? Hello. Hello, first breakout. Nice to see everyone here. So what I'm going to do, I'm Joe Belfiore, and I run the group that on the Windows 7 phone team that is the program management team responsible for the design, specification, schedule, defining the product. And what I'm going to do today is walk you through a pretty general introduction to the phone user experience. Mostly what you're going to get is a big, long demo. And I will mention it's going to be a high-risk demo. So, you all have lived through this before with early code. This is early code. I'm going to connect to actual networks with a crowded room full of people also connecting to networks, and sometimes that does not work. So we'll spend most of the time on demo. But what I am going to do is sort of go to the very high level and start from the very beginning and sort of describe our intent, the way we're thinking about this. In fact, I'll show you. Actually, it's worth mentioning. You all probably know a month ago we announced the Windows Phone 7 series at Barcelona. And what I'm going to do today is give you the background behind everything that went into that announcement. By far for us, the most important thing is to nail the user experience of the phone. And nailing the user experience of the phone means a lot of things for our partners. It affects the way we define the hardware. It affects the software platform definition. The way we define the hardware affects your software platform. But the thing for us that was behind what we announced at Barcelona and behind the way we're thinking about it is to really try to nail the user experience with a design that's excellent, that's easy to use, that's easy to learn, that's visually delightful, and that people will really like. On the screen are some of the press quotes following the Mobile World Congress announcement in case you didn't have a chance to see some of those yourself. And what I'm going to do is actually show you the things I'm going to walk through today. So here we go. First up is sort of the philosophy behind this and our general strategy. I'll try not to spend that much time on it. It's useful background for you as you think about writing apps for the phone to know where we're coming from on it. Mostly I'm going to do a demo. I'll probably spend about 35 minutes demoing. I'm going to walk you through almost everything on the phone. And then I'm going to give you a little bit more information on the hardware design and the partners that are bringing hardware to market. So let's jump in. The first thing is that internally at Microsoft, we really changed our approach to how we developed phone software with Windows Phone 7 series. And there's a few things that are specific and different about the approach. The first one I kind of talked about already, and it almost sounds like motherhood to say this, but it was genuinely different for us to make the decision that we are going to put the end user as the #1 priority and focus all our decision making around a great result for the end user. And if you go back years previous in terms of what the team had been doing, the team had a lot of tension in trying to develop software that would meet OEM needs or mobile operator needs. And if you think about the chain of delivering those units, OEM X would have a request from mobile operator Y for hundreds of thousands of devices that were optimized for a mobile knowledge worker with a particular screen size and a particular form factor. And in our old usage model, in our old model of working, we tried to accommodate a very wide range of requests. And what that led to was a less clearly focused, specific point of view on user experience. And so that's how our philosophy has changed. We're going in with a point of view on user experience that defines the scenarios we want the phone to always broadly be about, and for it to nail when a user buys one. So that's the most important thing in our changed approach. The second thing is we're committed to the model of bringing phones to market with OEMs and handset vendors through mobile operators. And we're trying to find the right balance in consistency in that user experience. So when we do TV ads, or when a user hears or reads a review, wow, I tried a Windows Phone 7 series and it was great, that whichever one they buy, there must be truth in that statement. And the way we think that we get a huge amount of differentiation for our hardware partners and our mobile operators, as well as for all of you, is by having a killer software platform that enables differentiation to happen via the applications that are shipped with the phone, where those applications fit in a very elegant and rich way into a common user experience. So imagine, one OEM focused on communication scenario and pre-bundling the phone with software that maybe one of you will write that lights up a front-facing camera on the phone and is an exclusive, innovative experience on that particular hardware. What we want to have happen is the application platform to generate great innovation for phones as they're shipped, but also for users to get over time as they download and install applications from the marketplace. And the third thing to make this come true for the end user is delivering a predictable spec for hardware, and for us, Microsoft, to do more of the work of bringing the software up so the OEMs need to do less. For example, in Windows Phone 7 series, unlike previous versions of Windows Mobile software, we're writing the entire phone dialer stack. So that's a given, and OEMs don't have to do it. We're providing a full, rich touch keyboard, so OEMs don't have to do that as well. We're doing more of the work to free our OEMs and mobile operators up to do innovative scenarios that will differentiate each of their phones from each other. So that's sort of the philosophy behind all this. The other thing that's worth pointing out is, to the extent that we specify the hardware and have, screen sizes that are well identified, that makes your life easier and makes the second column, platform, more likely to come true. We want to get exactly the right balance of known, predictable hardware, so you don't have to test against 45 different phone models, but know that the screen sizes have limited variation, that the touch capability is always present, and that you can always have a GPS or proximity sensor or accelerometer. So we're trying to get the right balance of constraint and structure to enable a system in which the ecosystem really thrives and innovative work gets done. It's also worth pointing out, if you look at our history, as Microsoft, we were more focused on the mobile knowledge worker or the mobile business user. And I want to explicitly say, you probably have already figured this out, that is not our intent with Windows Phone 7 series. As smartphones have become more capable, as more and more people are carrying them, the kinds of scenarios that need to light up are both work and life. And so we've picked an audience target for our own designs. We think this is useful information for you as you think about the apps that you'll create. This audience target is called the Life Maximizer. The Life Maximizer is, on average, a 38-year-old individual who is 76% employed and 73% in a partnered relationship. So if you think about these people and contrast them with youthful 17-year-olds getting phones, they're pretty different. They care about their work email, for example. And this is an audience that, because they have jobs, they have a little bit more money, so they're more likely to buy a slightly more expensive device and then load it up with apps. We like this target because, for one thing, it plays to some of our strengths. We're trying to deliver an experience that's both really fun but great at work. And the other reason why we like this audience is they're very demanding in terms of their broad expectations for features, functionality, and capability. They want it to be great at talking to their Exchange server, but they also want it to be able to play games, entertain their kids, and let them listen to music. Now, to really make this concrete, within our team, we created personas. So I want to introduce you to the same folks that we think about every day, Anna and Miles. Anna is a mom who works as a PR professional, and she's gone to part-time recently because she has young kids. She commutes to work on the train. They live in Evanston. She works in Chicago. And the firm that she works at is a mid-sized PR company which does have an IT staff. So you can imagine her calendar is very important to her. She cares about connection to her Exchange server. She's working with documents a lot, but at the same time, she's riding the train. She's interested in listening to music, and she wants to use her phone as a camera to take pictures of their son. They're a couple. I didn't mention that. They have a 5-year-old son. She wants to use the phone as a camera to take pictures of her son and share them with her parents who live in Northern Europe. So this all kind of sounds very specific, and it is. That's the idea. Miles is an architect who works as an entrepreneur. He's got a small company, and so he is his own IT staff. We use this as a technique to make sure that our team is thinking through scenarios and ease of use and completeness for that range of audience. We want to make sure that both of these people would be happy and excited with a Windows phone. And when you think about them as concrete people, probably many of you, it's not that hard to identify with those individuals. And for us, that's the bar of who we want to try to make really happy. And I think that's useful for you as you think about the apps that you might build or how you might go about designing them. There's a new visual experience in the 7 Series phone called Metro. And at Mobile World Congress, we introduced this and talked about 2 of the key things that we're really trying to deliver. And I mentioned them during the keynote. The first is smart design, and the second is integrated experiences. And I talked about those already, so I won't go into them in more detail. The one thing that I will add is that the visual design, internally we called it Metro. It had a codename Metro, so if you hear Metro, that's a reference to our visual design. And what I'm going to do is actually show you a video now. It's about 2 minutes long. It's some of the same stuff you saw in the keynote, but it builds the user experience, and the reason why I want to show it is our actual code does not yet have all of the polish and tuning in motions and animation, and motion and animation are a big part of what the Metro experience is all about. So we're going to start this up, and the first thing that you see are the live tiles building, beginning with the ones that control the basic phone functionality. We think they're sort of at the heart of the experience. Trying to have a start where users can press it and glance, see real information, not necessarily have to go into an app, is a big part of what we think the value proposition is. We want a UI that does glanceable information and easy customization in a way that's different than what any other phone does today. Think of it as the customization capability of widgets without all the pain in the rear of setting up, finding, and installing widgets. They're like super icons. In the hub, you heard me talk about this already. The idea in these hubs is to bring together multiple lists of things. So I'm seeing my people from more than one source and the activity of what they're doing. When I go to music and video, I'm seeing the music that I've collected, that I've ripped and stored with my PC. But I can also see services that come from third parties, and they're all brought together in a single place. These are the core ideas behind the Metro user experience design in general. And the visuals have an idea that is intending to be clean and light, focus on topography, not lots of rich imagery. We try to eliminate as much Chrome as we possibly can. All the user experience elements tend to be full bleed, even to the point where we crop text. We want people to feel that the experience is bigger than the small screen. And we're finding in our focus groups and usability studies that those are some of the things that people like best about the user experience. It sort of has an expansive feel. And the other thing that's worth mentioning again, one of the things I like to say, if you just look at static screenshots of it, you're not really getting the whole idea, which is why we like to show videos, because motion is a big part of what the Metro experience is about. And thematically, if you think about trying to align the hardware, okay, well, we need a great graphics part, with the software, including the app platform. Here's where Silverlight and XNA come in. They're designed to make motion easy. Take a look at the blend tool, the fact that it anticipates the need for easing functions to make animation look natural makes it a perfect fit for us with the Metro visual design language. We're trying to implement it ourselves in software. We're trying to make sure the hardware support is there for you. And we want a tool and runtime system that supports all of that and lets you deliver on the same promise. OK, so what I'm going to do now is switch over and jump into my marathon demo. And I have a couple of different builds, so I'm going to switch devices a little bit. We're in a part of the development process where we're close to getting our features done, and so there's different code branches coming together. And I'm just going to start out here. And you might notice on this particular device, it's the same USB out model. I have just a device here, and when I move here, it moves there. Hang on, that was an accidental click. So I will go back to start. You notice here my accent color is green. The accent color can be changed by the end user, or the phones can be pre-shipped with a slightly different color. And as I pan down, you see I've got this particular phone customized for my tastes. Thematically, you're hearing us talk about that idea sort of a lot. In this case, I've got an office tile on here. You haven't seen that yet, and so on. As an example, I'll go into the People Hub. You saw me do this before. There's my recent people. Here's all people. This is, I'm actually signed in on my Facebook account, so there's my latest Facebook update. I can pan over here. There's the what's new. These are my friends, what they're doing. If I want to comment on one of these things, I can touch the comment button, add my comment, and so on. Now I'm going to come back here. And I'm actually kind of waiting because I was expecting a phone call. This is part 1 of the risky demo. Is anyone trying to call me? It's a phone. We were hoping to show the phone. No, I'm expecting a particular person to call me. Well, okay, if she can't call me, maybe I will try calling her. So I was expecting a call from Kim Akers. So I wanted to show you what it looks like when someone calls. I'm still hoping Kim will call. Hang on there. Accidental scroll. We'll come back here. Choose Kim. Here's Kim. I'm going to call her mobile. Let's see if she answers. So I'm making a phone call. You can see how the phone experience comes over the top. The background is dimmed. And we'll see if Kim answers. Hello? Actually, you will not hear the audio, by the way. Okay, now imagine I just made that call to Kim, and I got her voicemail. She didn't answer, but what I did, you saw on the screen there, it had her name and some information about her. I could have expanded it to show the keypad or, phone call functionality is all available. But what I did was I touched her name. And so what we were trying to show was if a phone call comes in, you see the imagery of the person, and their name is hot. When you make a phone call, there's a super common situation that happens. You make a phone call to somebody, you get their voicemail, and now you have a choice. Am I going to leave a voicemail, which is a somewhat inconvenient way for people to get the message, or would you rather send them a text? And so what we've done is make it super easy for you to switch over to a different form of communication with that person. Kim's name was on there. I ended the call. I touched her name. I navigate to this button. And so now if I want to send her a text, I just click right here and send her a text. Kim might be somebody who I communicate with a lot, so again, maybe I've made my phone call or she called me. I decide she has earned herself a spot on my start menu. I press the heart button, and now she's available right there up on my start menu, and I can navigate around with that. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go into the calendar, and I showed you a little bit of this before, but I'm going to do a couple of different things here. This is the day view. What I'm going to do now is jump over to the month view, because I want you to imagine in my phone call with Kim, she said, oh, let's get together for lunch on Saturday. So I now have navigated to my month view. I'm going to jump out here to Saturday and create an appointment for having lunch with Kim. So we'll go to noon. Oh, look at my demo device already has that there. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to go have dinner. I'm typing as fast as I can, dinner with Mike. See, we're improvising on the fly. Now, what you probably noticed as I was typing was that the text keyboard was recognizing my stuff. It was putting candidate words up there, and it was correcting as I went along. And what you're probably noticing as you're looking at the screen is actually very intentional, because it did not get one of the words right. We're still tuning this, still plenty of work to do to get it done, but there's something that we're doing that's new, which is enabling real people to type as fast as they possibly can, which actually you could do pretty well, but then after the fact, look up, take a look at the word, say, no, it's not hover, it's have. I can go back to any word, reselect it, and pick a different candidate out of the list. And there's two scenarios where that's interesting. One is where the recognizer failed to get the correction. Another is where it corrected something that you typed right. I find myself typing lots of acronyms, not surprisingly, on my phone. And when I first put in an acronym that the dictionary doesn't recognize, it wants to correct it to some word. With this, I can always go back, select the word, and choose what I originally typed if it had already made a correction. So trying to do these little things, we talk about this idea of smart design, anticipating what people need, being smart about when to make a correction, and a way to make it easy for people to go back is a part of the overall value proposition of what we're trying to deliver here. Okay. Now I want you to imagine, I'm going to sort of move on. I've talked to Kim on the phone. Here I am in Vegas. There's lots of people from our team coming in. One of the things that's a key scenario is how do we enable the phone to connect you to the real world and do things like searches, find information while you're out doing your thing. So this is one of the riskier parts of the demo because I need to use the network. I'm going to push the search button, which is going to jump me in here to the Bing experience that's built into the phone. Search works contextually. If I'm in email and press search, then I search through my email. If I'm in the browser or on Start or somewhere where there's not a search experience available, then search gives me a Bing experience. And you notice there are nice little touches like these hotspots here. It's the Bing image of the day, but I can go up here and type. So we're going to do a couple of examples. Some people on our team are on a flight Alaska 604. So I'm going to type in Alaska 604. Thematically, what we want the phone to be able to do is to respond to your questions in a way that saves you work. You know, we say it's designed for life in motion, and the idea there is to anticipate what people need and want and do things for them. So there are a bunch of things that we do that are instant answers built on the Bing backend engine, which is being built up as what you've heard us talk about, a decision engine to help people make decisions. When I type in Alaska 604, you see it figures out that's an airline flight, and it gets me the flight time. This flight is actually in the air. It departed at 10:36 a.m. from Seattle. It will arrive here at 1 p.m. Perfect timing for me to meet my friends and go have lunch once they get here. These instant answers actually do a lot of things. So I'll give you another example. You're out with your phone, you're in the city somewhere, you think, oh, tonight might be a good night to go to a movie. And if you type in Avatar, we want an experience where the back end and the client work together to serve up exactly what you want. We're talking to our Bing engine. It's trying to figure out whether there's a specific instant answer for this. And if I'm lucky, knock on wood, it's going to return in just a second and show me movie times local to me for the movie Avatar. And it's taking a while, so I'm going to try that again. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do, actually... Oh, there we go. I was about to switch to another phone. But you see, the service... Obviously, the service is still under development too. The service recognized this is something that you probably want an answer result. These are theaters that are local to where I am now. Every time we do a query, the service gets your location, so it can return a local result if that's the most interesting thing. And in this case, it figured out the theaters near me, and these are the next movie times for seeing Avatar here in Las Vegas. We're doing these kinds of instant answers for a wide range of things: movies, weather, stocks, celebrities, and so on. Now I'm going to give you another example. Here I am in Vegas, and I'm going to meet my friends, and we're going to want to get lunch or dinner. And let's say we're interested in pasta. Now, one of the things we do when you do a query like that, it's hard to know what your specific intent is. Are you looking for information about pasta, or are you looking for a place to go get pasta to eat? And what we try to do, we send location information, and when the results come back, we make it really easy for a user to switch between both, and we try to anticipate which thing they actually wanted. So the service is being very slow. This is the risk of doing a demo with a live network in a room with a lot of people. I'm going to try it on my second device here at the same time and see if it works any better. Okay, it looks like our network connectivity is not being real helpful. I'll give this one more shot. Okay, well, I'm going to skip over this part of the demo. If we have time at the end, I'll come back and try it again. Unfortunately, I can't get my network connection right now. It is one of the risks of doing these live demos with a lot of people in the room. Okay, so we'll go back to the start experience. And what I'm going to do now is go into my email. And I had mentioned the way that search works with email. I'm going to actually show you. So we'll come into the Outlook mail client. And I think I mentioned in the keynote, we support a really wide range of mail services. Exchange with multiple Exchange accounts, Gmail, Yahoo, Pop and IMAP, and of course Hotmail. What I'm going to do here is hit the search button, because one of my coworkers, Mark Boyer, I'll type Boy, has been sending me email because he wants me to look at this forecast document. And obviously, I've been a little bit busy here at the show, but now I have a second, and it's a demo, so what the heck? Now's not a bad time to take a look. I type in BOY. I get all the results back in my mail very quickly that are there. And of course, this view is live and lets you fully operate on all those search results. So if you have a mail thread that you want to go clean up, you can type a search term, get the list sorted right there, and then select all the items and delete them. But what I want to do is navigate into this example. Here's Mark saying, here's this spreadsheet with the numbers I was asking for. And I know he wants me to get back to him after I take a look. I'm going to touch that and give you a first look at the Office experience built into Windows Phone. And we're just going to have just sort of a sneak peek today. We're going to go into a lot more detail on Office a little bit later on, probably in June. But I wanted to give you a sense for how this looks and works. So what I'm looking at is an Excel spreadsheet. And of course, I can pan around. I can do my multi-touch zooming. This is a big spreadsheet with a chart and a lot of data and so on. I can zoom in, zoom out. But what I'm going to do first here is use the find on this page functionality. So I'm going to touch here, type the word asset, because this is a financial spreadsheet. And you'll see Excel jumps me around. There's a cell right there with the word assets. I can press the arrow button to navigate to the next example, press the arrow button to navigate to the next example. So even when you have a small screen, we've tried to make it really easy for people to jump around a document that's very big. And in this particular example, I received this as an attachment, but it might be a document that I want to keep and save and work on or share with other people. So what I'm going to do here is go back to the app bar, pop it up for the more advanced commands, the ones that I would do less frequently, and I'm going to choose the File menu, and then choose Save As. If I wanted to, I could change the name of this document, but I won't. I'll just say Save. I happen to already have that on this device. I'm going to say yes to replace it. And now that document is saved in storage on the phone as part of my Office Hub, which I will show you now. So we'll switch over here to Start, scroll down, go into Microsoft Office, and you get a look at how we're trying to make the productivity experience of note-taking, document management, and connectivity to your corporate SharePoint or your SharePoint Online. So there's my Excel spreadsheet right there, forecast1.xls, and you can see I have PowerPoint, Word documents, and so on. That's just a quick look at Office, and we will go into more detail on that later. Another communications experience that I haven't shown yet is the texting experience. We did a phone call a little early on. Now imagine that Mark sent me that document. Now I've looked at it. I want to let him know that I got it. So what I'm going to do is send him a text. And actually, I made a little demo error here. I'm going to use the back button to correct my demo error. What I did was I saved the document from his email. Now I want to go back, instead of having to type his name, I'm just going to go back to the Office Hub, back to my Excel spreadsheet, and yes, back to the email that Mark sent me, because these names, we want people, the people to be first-class objects. These names are hot and touchable, so I'll touch Mark Boyer, and now to send him a text, it's as easy as that. I never had to go to a point where I had to choose him out of a long list or type his name, so I can just navigate right here, touch Text Mobile. It's all set up for me to text him. And the text experience that we're building in supports SMS and MMS, so I can attach a photo. We'll go in here to our Las Vegas photos and choose, the Eiffel Tower looks good. Put that in our text right here, and I can scroll down, touch to type a message, and I'll do that same fast typing thing. We'll see how correction does. Thanks for the document. The demo is going okay so far. Okay, thanks for the document. The demo is going okay so far. Hey, not bad. So I'm going to go back. I got to correct one word. It's not fat, it's far. Now I'm ready to send my text. And one thing that's worth mentioning as well, the devices all have an accelerometer built in. So if I want to, I can get my MMS all set up, or if I'd prefer to use the phone in landscape orientation, I can do that. And you see there on screen how the UI adjusts itself. The text input keyboard will scale to the larger horizontal size, and I can use it that way if I want. And I just want to show you, because we're sort of proud of the attention to detail we're doing in the UI. Watch the two buttons on the side in the app bar as I rotate the phone. First they're that way, and then they spin around. Let's do that again, because there they are. They're catching up with the rest of the UI. So that's, trying to really make the design smart, a little bit fun. We want to engage people's emotions and make the experience of using the phone just generally delightful. In fact, on that note, I'll come back here, and we've shown the Music and Video Hub a couple times, but I'm going to give you a little bit more depth here. I'll jump into music and video on the topic of fun. I'm in this hub, and during the keynote, you saw how the hub is extensible, so third-party applications can be used with it. We showed a Netflix example. I want to show you a little bit more about how music playback works. I'm going to touch this playlist, which is something I've been playing recently. You can hear the phones have a speaker. I have to hold it up here. I presume you can hear this. So there's actually music playing. And what it's doing is connecting to this service to download the artist imagery for each artist I play. So that's where that background is coming from. And I can pan to skip to the next item in my playlist. So I have a mix here. It's got Annie and the Black Eyed Peas. And if I wait long enough and have network connectivity, which is the risk in this demo, you'll see a Black Eyed Peas artist image there. Looks like my network connectivity is still not working. But what I'm going to do now is go back. And the music keeps playing. In fact, I'm going to navigate away from music for a moment and come over here. If I'm in the Start menu, music keeps playing. If I go into my email, music keeps playing. So the operating system is a full multitasking operating system, and it does things like lets music run in the background. It lets email load in the background. Browser web pages load and render in the background. So I was going to show that before, but lack of network connectivity is going to prevent me from doing so. And as an example, as I navigate around, I can use the dedicated volume buttons, which are part of the hardware in every device. I'm pushing the volume buttons here to change the volume, and they include basic transport controls. So if I'm tired of hearing the music, I can just hit pause. And that music playback experience is available as a facility for you in the apps that you write as well. So your music playback or audio playback can integrate in and play in the background as well, to the extent that you're using the APIs that we build in. OK, now I'm going to, actually I want to flip back to music and show you, we'll see if our network connectivity works. I haven't actually gone into the Zune experience to show you what it looks like. So I'll choose music here. If I wanted to, I could just touch that triangle, the play button right there, and just do a shuffle all. Quick and easy way to start playing all your music. Here's my artist view. Here's my album view. You can see it's visually nice. I'm going to scroll down there. And if I want to navigate through a long list of albums, the same metaphors work throughout the system. So in this case, I can touch the letter B and bring up the same jump navigation that you saw in the people experience. So I'm going to touch N to jump down to my albums that start with an N. Here we are. And I'm going to pick, let's see, there was one I was looking for. Did I get the wrong one? Oh, I picked the wrong letter. I wanted D, sorry. I'm going to touch D and go to this Annie album called Don't Stop. I can touch the title to go into that album. I can pivot over to see what songs I have. In this case, I only have one song from the album. I can touch the name of the artist to go to that artist page. And you see the background of the artist page is there. And it's showing me, I can see that's what she looks like. I can see what albums I own. I can see what songs I own. If I were connected, actually, I think I just got my connection, because here's her biography. We go out to the service and pull in an artist biography, so it's possible for you to read about that musical artist. And we'll go out to the service. If I expand the marketplace area here, we're going to query the service so that you can see not just the albums that you have, but albums that are available for you to buy or listen to as well. And again, we're facing the demons of network connectivity. Let's see if we get them. Here they are. So these are all the Annie albums on the service. And it is asynchronously downloading the album art. We must have a slow connection, and that's why they're coming in kind of slow. So there you go. Now I'm going to jump back over here and give you a look at some of the stuff in photos. And you saw a little bit of this during the keynote demo, but I'm going to show you a couple other things. So let's scroll down here. That's my son playing baseball on our vacation. And the background of the tile, as well as the background of the hub, both get set automatically, and it's possible for you as a user, if you are so inclined, to customize them yourself. So I'm going to come in here. You can see here's the hub. There are some of the pictures of my family from my vacation. Here's what's new. And if you look here, one of my friends, Martin Burka, has posted an album on Facebook. So if I want to, I can touch the plus right here and comment on his album. We'll say, looks like fun. And of course, if I get it wrong, I can go back and make an easy correction and press post. And now I've posted a comment on his Facebook album. If he had lots of other comments, they would show up here. So I can always be part of the experience in a way that's built naturally right into the Photos Hub. Whoops. That was a mispress on my part. I'll go back to the Photos Hub. So you can see how the social networks, Facebook, Windows Live, or social networks that are connected to Windows Live are all available. And then the last thing I want to show you here, I'm going to go into my album view, where you'll see top left is the camera roll. Those are pictures I've taken with the camera on the device. And our hardware spec requires a nice camera, minimum 5 megapixels with a flash, so we expect people to get great photos. Some of these folders are folders that I synced from my PC. The folder Joe's Kids, those were pictures that I took with my regular digital camera, and I store them on my PC and I sync them to my phone. And down here are albums that are actually coming from Windows Live and Facebook. And the thing that's really nice about this, I'm going to just pick one example here, Vegas pictures on Facebook. This has really happened to me in my experience using a Windows Phone 7 device as my daily phone. When I set up my phone in the out-of-box experience, I provide a Windows Live ID, so we have initial service connectivity. And we do things like automatically upload photos to the service so that you always have a backed up copy available, and so you can instantly be sharing with your friends. And when I added my Facebook account, I did it once. I had to provide my username and password, and that gave me the What's New feed in People and the What's New feed in Photos. But the other thing that both of those things did was they put all my online albums right in my gallery, so I never needed to do extra work. And it literally felt like magic. I went into the photo gallery, or the photo hub, went to the gallery, and there were my Facebook photos, and I found that I could browse through them in a way that was as natural as if I had taken them with the camera on the phone. So here are our Vegas photos. If I pan through this, we're hitting the service, we're pulling them down, my network connectivity must be working again. You can see I can put comments in there and so on. And so the experience, in fact, these are photos from our rehearsal last night, which we published on Facebook this morning. So there's me and Scott getting ready for the talk this morning. Nice pick, Scott. Not Scort, but okay, we don't, oh, there we go, Scott. Post. So you get a sense for how the hubs are really trying to deliver on bringing the web and that social experience with apps, with your data all into one place. Now what I want to do, I talked about the idea of those photos syncing from your PC to your phone. And you say, well, there's a Zune experience. I want to show you what it actually looks like to use the phone with your PC. Now, you do not have to have a PC to be a Windows Phone user. But if you do have a PC, then you get some extra features and benefit. So let's switch over to the PC. I want to show you what the experience is like when I take my Windows Phone and plug it into my PC. Can you all see the PC on your screens? Not yet? Can we switch to the PC? Thank you. So here I have a Windows Phone, and I'm going to plug it into USB, plug, and ta-da! Now I'm looking at the Zune experience, which is designed to be a companion to Windows Phone. If you've used Windows Phones already, you might be familiar with the Active Sync application on the PC. That's gone. We don't have that anymore. Zune, thank you. Zune is the companion experience on the PC for Windows Phone. So I'm not sure how many of you have played around with Zune. It's a free download, lots of cool stuff in it. It works with all the music that you have. It easily finds music. It coexists with other players very nicely. Here's my album view, for example. Here's my artist view. I can scroll down through lots and lots of artists. The quick play experience in the Zune is actually very nice and very much like what you see on the phone. We haven't preset this up, but I'll give you a look. There's music that's new. Here's music that I've been playing. I can pin music and so on. Of course, I can browse the marketplace in here to look for music or video or applications, as you have seen today with Zune HD. And since I plugged the phone in, over here you can see my pointer is showing you the Device tab. I could look at the Quick Play, my collection, the marketplace, or the device. When I pick device, this is my phone. My phone's name is Galaxy 6. You can see it's a Galaxy 6. That's what it looks like. We will get actual phone images, so you'll see a picture of your phone. And if I want to browse the content that's on it, that's super easy using the PC connectivity. So here's all the music that's actually on my phone device. This is real. This is what's really there. So if I want to select some music and manage that music within the PC, I can multi-select, right-click, and say delete from Galaxy 6, and it's gone from the phone. I can browse the videos or the pictures on the phone, and so on. And if I want to take stuff from my collection, we'll take the 1984 album, for example. I can just drag and drop it onto the phone, and it will sync. And in the background, that'll sync and update. If I come back to the device summary, you see the syncing is happening. It just added the 9 items, which are the songs from the 1984 album. It's as simple as that. I pull the USB plug, and I'm done. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Zune, you might be asking yourself the question, well, USB sync is nice, but isn't this the 21st century? It's a phone, for goodness sake. It has Wi-Fi. It has a cell network. Can you sync wirelessly like Zune does? Absolutely yes. And the thing that's worth mentioning about that is that wireless sync with a phone, in my opinion, is much more compelling than wireless sync on a multimedia player. And the reason why is that people use their phones every day. They deplete the battery in a day or 2 days, and they bring them home and they plug them into a charger to charge to use the phone again. And the way our wireless sync works is whenever you take your device and plug it into power, we wake up and check and see, am I on my home wireless network? Am I on my home wireless network? And if we find that you are, we initiate a sync automatically in the background. Now, what that means is some great scenarios. For one, think about photos. We did a focus group and looked at some of the most popular smartphones today and found that most people never bother to get their pictures off their phone. One way that we're addressing this problem is with auto-upload of photos to Windows Live and a scaled-down version for sharing. But another way we're addressing it is with Wi-Fi sync, automatically getting the full resolution version of all your photos off your phone and onto your PC every single night when you take it home and plug it in to charge it. All your pictures replicated from your phone to your PC without you having to do any extra work. So that's one great scenario. Another great scenario is when you get music or video, whether you rip CDs or buy from the marketplace, or if you buy applications or games, you might be sitting and using your PC at a time when your phone's not connected. The next time you plug it into power, we'll go find your PC on your home network and do that syncing for you, so you're never more than a day off having up-to-date content that you want to get from your PC to your phone. So we're pretty excited about the Zune connectivity, and we're pretty excited about how much Wi-Fi sync is going to really help people get a great experience. Okay, let's switch back over, and I got one more demo, and then I'm going to wrap up. Can we switch back to the phone? Are you all seeing the phone up there, or not yet? Not yet. Okay, here we go. So I'm back on my phone. Let me turn it back on. This actually, I don't think I've shown the lock screen. That's the lock screen, which obviously you can customize. That was a picture of my son. I'm going to pan down here, and the last hub I want to show you is the Games Hub. We've talked about games, and you saw a bunch of games examples in the keynote, but we haven't taken you through the hub. So here's the Xbox, the Games tile, and I'm waiting here because my avatar should, there we go, that's my avatar on Xbox Live, popping into the Games Hub. And you see I've got a notification on there, it's a live tile, telling me that there's 3 things waiting for me that are related to my gameplay. So I'll touch the tile and go into the Games Hub, and it's going to talk to the service now. And what you'll see, first is my game collection. There's some games that I have installed here, and you see here's a title, Try for Free, which is being advertised from the marketplace right into the phone client, so I can touch that and see what a featured game is. If I pan over, there's a section of the hub called Spotlight, which is a way for the service to identify new and exciting and valuable things to users, whether it's tips about games or new games that are available. I'll pan over here, and in the Xbox Live area, I see my actual avatar and my actual gamer score. This is a test account we have set out. I actually have a better gamer score than 0. If I had used the phone or had played on the console with this particular test account, then you'd see that number not be 0. And if I pan over here, the reason why I have the 3 on the live tile is that I have 3 requests to be playing games with people. 2 of them are invitations of friends of mine who downloaded or installed games on their phone or potentially on their PC as well, written to XNA, and a notification that it's my turn in a backgammon game I'm playing with Scotty. Part of the design and the whole experience is to make asynchronous turn-based games a natural, built-in part of the whole experience. So if you think about this hub concept, if you have a game like backgammon or Scrabble or any kind of turn-based game and you want to have a social experience with other people, we want it to be the case that you can go to your Games Hub and see when it's your turn or see those invitations from people that care about you. And because XNA is a platform that works across different devices, we're making it possible for you to play these turn-based games not just with other people who have Windows phones, but also with other people who have PCs. There's an awful lot of them, and eventually people who have consoles as well. And then the last thing here, of course, if I pan all the rest of the way through the hub, is my collection. And actually, I'll just stop right there. Okay, can I switch back to the slides? One of the questions that we get that I want to make sure to touch on, in particular for all of you as an audience, is that we're trying to really get the hardware the correct balance between standardization so that the platform is easy to write for and does not have an incredibly heavy testing burden on all of you. As a company that has built a game console, we have an appreciation for the value to developers when the hardware platform is constrained. And so the trick for us is specifying enough things that both give you predictability and also give end users predictability, but at the same time allow for lots of innovation and some variation on the part of our OEM partners. So this slide gives you a list of the things that are fixed in our hardware spec. We require capacitive touch, and it must be 4-point symmetric multi-touch. So if you're thinking about a game that's going to require 4 touches, you can count on the fact that every Windows Phone 7 series device will have capacitive multi-touch with 4 or more touch points. We are requiring all of these sensors. You can count on every Windows 7 Phone series device having a GPS, an accelerometer, a compass, and the rest of the sensors. You can count on a great graphics part. You can count on a powerful processor. And we're going to have 2 screen sizes. One is WVGA, which is 800 by 480. And eventually, a little later, we'll have devices that are HVGA in 480 by 320. Those are the 2 screen sizes that you need to code for. Their aspect ratios are close. They're not exactly the same. They're close. And we'll make sure that the tools make it easy for you to test both screen sizes out. And if you've tested on those 2 devices, then you're pretty much set. Across these requirements, it's worth mentioning the buttons, the hardware buttons are fixed on the face. There's some other required buttons like volume and power and so on. And a keyboard is optional. So we're expecting to see lots of devices with keyboards and plenty of devices without them. And in general, that's not something your code needs to worry about because we take care of typing through the on-screen keyboard. Although I suspect that if you're interested in doing something special for keyboard, there's probably a way to do that. Although honestly, I'm not sure exactly how that would work. So I wanted to specifically point out how we fixed the hardware spec in this way to make your life easier and to deliver predictability to end users who will be out shopping for Windows phones. And the last thing I want to make sure to highlight is the wide range of partners that we're working with to get these devices into market. These are all folks that we mentioned or talked about at Mobile World Congress. But for those of you who are thinking about writing apps, it's worth pointing out that it is a diverse and long list of people who are working with us closely to actually build phones and bring them to market. And actually, I'm gonna wrap up by showing you a couple of other devices. What you saw. Actually, if we could switch back to the stage camera here, that would be great. Okay, sorry, here we go. So this first device, the one we've been demoing on, is a device from ASUS. They're one of our good engineering partners, and they've been building a lot of the prototype hardware that you've seen. I have a couple more I'm going to show you, so that's one. I want to especially thank all of these companies. So this device is a device from LG. I think, unfortunately, the battery has run out. If you saw on the... Sorry? Somebody else? No. If you saw on the Engadget show, we showed this device. It's a nice, slim form factor. And this device in particular is notable because it has a landscape keyboard. So it's one of the first hardware companies that we're working really closely with on the design of a keyboard device. Nice, small, light keyboard. And then the last one, which we have not shown yet, that I want to show, is a Samsung device. This device is a slate, really nice bright screen, and on the back you can see one of the things that is a super nice feature of this device is it has a terrific camera. We're excited about the photo capabilities in Windows Phone 7 series devices, and we think this device, as an example, will be one that has a terrific experience with the camera. So I wanted to show those 3 to all of you, and if we could just switch back, I am going to wrap up. Hopefully, what you all will take away from this is, at Microsoft, we've really changed our approach. And the #1 message of all, I think, if there's any takeaway, is that our focus is on a terrific user experience for the end customers who will buy these phones. When we think about these people, we think about them as individuals who have wide-ranging interests and needs. They care about an experience that's absolutely killer to support them in their job, but it's got to be absolutely fun and engaging for their lifestyle outside of work as well. we've gone so far as to identify names for them, and we encourage you to think about those people as well as you go off and build your app. We're trying to strike the right balance of constraint in hardware so that tons of great apps will flourish on a really powerful and capable platform. You saw this morning the tools. I'm super excited about the capability of the tools and how easy it will be for you to bring apps up. We're going to make the marketplace a great way to promote them. We'll move apps quickly through the marketplace and get them out to people. And in the end, what we're trying to do is deliver a phone that feels different to people, that does a great job of optimizing its net experience for busy people whose lives are in motion, anticipating the kinds of things they want and need, and offering them a really broad, full-featured experience. So lots more stuff coming in this track today. Details on the app platform, examples of how to write app, specific code, the location framework, the notification service, all those things we're going to go into in more detail. Thanks a lot for coming. Have a great conference, and we'll all be around to answer questions. Thanks.